Okay, welcome, students, BHS drillers. It's May 20th, 2020. This is Mr. Celadon coming to you live from his office at his home. Okay, so today's lesson is going to be a little bit different because I'm going to do my best to walk you through writing this essay. So I'm going to basically bring on this mentality of I am a student in Mr. Celadon's class. So let's begin. So I get this assignment. Mr. Celadon assigns this. It says argument paper number 6, illegal drug use, Romeo and Juliet. I don't know where that R came from. By William Shakespeare, Act 5. The directions. Answer each question below in a concise and quote-supported paragraph. So each question has one paragraph. Okay. Then it says to make sure there's quotes. Okay. So number 1, how does Romeo react when he hears about Juliet being dead in Capulet's tomb? 2, do you think the anger Romeo feels at hearing the death of Juliet is rational? In your opinion, do you believe Romeo made the right decision to buy illegal poison on his way to see Juliet in the tomb? And then what should be done to people who purchase and use illegal drugs for recreational or harmful use? So I'm going to just quickly format my page that I'll be turning into my teacher. And so this is obviously MLA. Everything's going to be MLA. So I have Daniel Celadon. Mr. Celadon is my teacher. The date or the class of English 9P. And the date, I'm just going to make it for today, the 20th May 2020. Okay. I want to make sure I double space this. So I come here to this little button, go to double. Now you notice how the font is all incorrect. So I want to make sure it's 12-point font times New Roman. Okay, so if you're watching this video, make sure you pause anytime you need to so that you can effectively interact with this Screencastify. Press enter here, and then this button here makes it center. So the title is argument paper number 6. I'm going to give it a title. Put that there. I like to click on it, and then you press right click, and you press copy, or you can click on it and press Control C, and then when you come down here, press Control V. So Control C is to copy. You hold down the Control, the CTRL button, and then you press C to copy it, and then when you wherever you want to paste it, you press Control V as in Victor. So now I have my title. I want to go back over here to the left, so I click that button instead of, the average kid might do something like this, and they start going up like that, like, oops, I messed up. So just press this button right here. See, it says the left align, center align, right align. So I'm going to left align. Okay, now if you notice this, the space on the left-hand side, it's too small. I can tell that because I've graded essays and written essays for at least the last 20 plus years of my life. So I go to File, Page Setup. Once again, if you have to pause it, you pause, right? And then I'm going to come here and change this all to 1. These are called 1-inch margins. And now you can see that the space is bigger. Okay, so I have my name, my teacher's name, the class I'm in, the date, and then the title of the assignment. All right. Now I go back to the handout. How does Romeo react when he hears about Juliet being dead in Capulet's tomb? Well, because I'm what you call, I need to really pay attention to things in my life. I'm just going to paste this over here for now. I do that so I don't have to keep going back and forth to the page. Okay, I don't know what's up with that. Never mind. So let me just do this. Okay, I don't understand what's happening. So anyway, I'm gonna leave it right there. In a perfect world, it would be on top, but I don't really care that much right now. How does Romeo react when he hears about Juliet being dead? Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is use tag, right? So it really doesn't even matter what the question is at this point, as long as I can start it off. So start off the play, Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. Okay, so right now we have the genre, the play, right? Then we have Romeo and Juliet, just the title. So I'm going to italicize that. Okay, the play Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. Deals with death, love, and murder. Okay, so really the point I'm trying to make here is I have tag here, and then maybe I'm just trying to get straight to the point. Well, what is the point? How does Romeo react when he hears about Juliet being dead in Capulet's tomb? Well, maybe it's death. So deals with death, love, and murder. Now I'll stick with that for now. I can always go back and change it. Now, I want to kind of just jump right into it because I'm just answering this nicely, concisely, right, and making it sound smart. The play Romeo and Juliet, William Shakespeare, deals with death, love, and murder. Now, notice how I read that sentence multiple times in my head because I have to make sure that when I'm answering the question, I'm answering it completely and not going off topic, right? So you'll notice how, as I'm talking right now, yes, I'm teaching you, I'm showing you, but I'm really just trying to be who I am when I write papers, right? When I write my assignments. So I'm going to read it one more time. The play Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare deals with death, love, and murder. Okay, so then I want to be specific with the story. After Balthazar, so I have literally the handout in front of me, right? And I can see Balthazar right there. What did Balthazar do? Well, if you listen to the first screencastify, it talks about Balthazar. He saw Juliet in the tomb, and that's when he comes to see Romeo and says Juliet is dead. So I'm going to say something about that. After Balthazar saw Juliet dead in the Capulet tomb, he traveled to Mantua to after Balthazar saw Juliet dead in the Capulet tomb, he traveled to Mantua to inform who? What did he inform over there? Romeo. Now, notice how I'm setting it up, right? I'm just kind of building almost like this little pyramid. So I can't get to the top of the pyramid until I have the base and the next levels below it, right? So I said, after Balthazar saw Juliet dead in the tomb, he traveled to Mantua to inform Romeo. Romeo's response, how about using the key word, react? Well, it's a different way of saying react. Reaction. Okay, Romeo's reaction to this news is of what? How does he feel, right? Romeo's reaction to this news is of pain, is of terror, is of anger, right? Let's go back and read. Well, Juliet, I will lie with thee tonight. Let's, for means, O mischief, thou art swift to enter into the thoughts. So essentially he is almost like determined, right? I'm going to lie with you tonight. So it becomes like a determination. Romeo's reaction to this news is one of determination. He professes. So remember, I'm introducing this quote. Or maybe, yeah. So since I said Romeo already, I just want to say he professes. What does he profess? Well, come back over here. He professes, well, Juliet, I will lie with thee tonight. Okay, so let's take that quote. I just copied it, Control C, now Control V. He professes, well, Juliet, I will lie with thee tonight. Now, take the period off. See, there's a period just a second ago. I deleted it, and then now I have to tell the reader where this comes from. So this is Act 5, Scene 1, and then see how that's a 35 right there, and then a 40. So just subtract 1, 35. This is line 34. Okay, so it's Act 5, capitalize V because that's Roman numeral 5. This is scene, which one is it? Scene is it? Scene 1. Scene 1, and then line what? I forgot. Oh, yeah. 35, 36, 37. No, wrong way. 35, 34. Line 34. And then the period comes after everything. Okay, so let me go back and read this. The play Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare deals with death, love, and murder. After Balthazar saw Juliet dead in the tomb, he traveled to Mantua to inform Romeo. Romeo's reaction to this news, notice how I'm using react, turning it to reaction, says, so I stay on topic. Also, look, Capulet tomb, in the Capulet's tomb, right? Juliet being dead, Juliet's being dead. So I'm making sure that this paragraph is completely answering that question. And that's why I cut and pasted it onto this page so I can see it, right? And I don't have to keep going back and forth. Even if I stayed on this page and I went down like here, if I start typing, I can always look up here. The problem with my brain, though, is see, all this stuff is messing me up because now I'm already thinking ahead. I'm thinking ahead. I don't want to think ahead. I want to stay right here in this moment right here only, so I can just be that kid who answers number 1 to the best of my ability. And then once I'm done, I can go to number 2. But see, then by that time, I would already have deleted this one. And then I can go now and cut and paste number 2 so I can see that one only. So since I still have this one, I'm not finished with it yet. So I have what we call tag as the first sentence. Next, I have some kind of like background information to help me establish what the heck the question is. Then I have this introduction to the quote. Then I have my actual quote here. Then I have the citation of where the quote comes from. Now, you would already know this, especially being in my class, and I talked about it all year long. If you have a quote, what has to come after the quote? Now, this would be a time where you would maybe pause. And I'm being quiet on purpose. Then you would say, oh, of course. You do what? You have to explain the quote. So he professes, well, Julia, I will lie with thee tonight. And you know what? I'm going to pull in one more line just because I want to show you something. Let's see from means, oh, mischief, thou art swift to enter the thoughts of desperate men. I'm going to take that too. Now, that means I have to go back and look. So after tonight, there was a period. So I got to put that period back and then paste this new information. Now, see how it pasted like this? It pasted like that because when I cut, it looked like that already. So it's kind of maintaining this formatting. So after the word tonight, there has to be a slash. After the word swift, there has to be another slash. The slashes are what show you or show the reader of this that this is poetry that we're reading. So after tonight, I'm going to put a slash. Go back over. After the word swift, I have to put a slash. Now, I can't have an essay that looks like that, so I'm going to bring that back up. So I just press delete one time and then space bar one time. And then now I have a longer quote, but that longer quote is going to allow me to explain more. That's why I added more. So let's go back. He professes, well, Juliet, I will lie with thee tonight. Let's see for means. Oh, mischief, thou art swift to enter in the thoughts of desperate men. So let me explain. Always do 2 spaces after every period as well. So now I'm going to explain what this quote means. Well, Juliet, let me go back. How does Romeo react? Okay, so Romeo is set on being with Juliet and when he says that he will lie with Juliet, it means that he will either kill himself or die right next to her tonight. Okay, let me read that. Romeo is set on being with Juliet, and when he says that he will lie with Juliet, he means that he will die. He means that he is going to kill himself so he can literally lie with her. I don't really like that the best because I feel like it's a little too wordy and long, so I'll have to come back to it so I can keep moving on. So he says, let's for means, O mischief, thou swift to enter the thoughts of desperate men. So Romeo is set on being with Juliet, and when he says that he will lie with Juliet, he means that he is going to kill himself so he can literally lie with her tonight. His thought about being with her was immediate. This reaction shows the desperation that he had in this moment. Romeo's lack of basically just like clarity, but like his mental stability, lack of mental clarity disables his ability to think rational thoughts. Okay. So let's just say I'm done with that paragraph, right? Because the question is, how does Romeo react when he hears about Juliet being dead too? Okay, so let me erase that now. So notice how we have tag in there. We got a nice quote, so on and so forth. I did not update it though. So it's line 34, 35, 36. So it's line 34. You put a hyphen and then to 36. Next paragraph. All right. Question number 2. Question number 2 says, do you think the anger Romeo feels at hearing the death of Juliet is rational? I would say no, but oops. Okay, so I got okay, so do you think the anger Romeo feels at hearing the death of Juliet is rational? Make a direct connection to the text provided. Okay. Romeo's anger is rational. I would say it is rational. Why? Because his new wife. Okay, Romeo's anger is rational because his new wife is dead only after hours of being happily married. Romeo's anger is rational because his new wife is dead only after hours of being happily married. Okay, so he's angry because he just got married to her. He loved her, right? He's putting all of his emotion and everything he has into this girl who has basically shown the love back to him. If we go back to remembering like Rosalind, she did not show the love back to him, and that's why Romeo was so depressed in the beginning of the play. Now, this girl, or Juliet, they find out that they're basically mortal enemies, yet they love each other and they're willing to forget about all that, their family's issues, because they found something that they actually care about for once. So Romeo's anger is rational because his new wife is dead only after hours of being happily married. He has the right to be full of rage, but I don't want buts yet. Because I'm saying Romeo's anger is rational because his new wife is dead. He has the right to be full of rage. I put or rage. has a right to be full of rage, and his actions in this case are justified. He needs to see his wife immediately, and one can appreciate his desire to be with with Juliet. Okay, so let's go get a quote now. Because this part I was introducing it. Do you think the anger Romeo feels? So I'm saying yes, it's rational. And then let me see here. Now I feel like the quote here, the "O mischief, thou art swift to enter in the thoughts of desperate men," that's actually a good quote too, but it's the same one. That's the problem. So let's see here. Romeo's anger is rational because his new life is dead only after hours of being happy. He has the right to be full of rage. His actions are, in this case, are justified. He needs to see his wife immediately, and one can appreciate the desire to be with Juliet. We think the anger Romeo feels is rational. Okay. I'm going to use this quote. So basically, go back over here. I want to go deeper into this quote here. So I'm going to take the same quote. I'm saying when Romeo says, "Oh mischief," that's line 35. I got to change it because I didn't take that line 34, so it's now 35, 36. When Romeo says, "Oh mischief, thou art swift to enter the thoughts of desperate men," what is he doing? He is revealing that he has lost his desire to live and follow Juliet into death. This is why he goes to an apothecary to buy drugs, buy poison in order to kill himself. Okay. So he's blaming mischief, obviously, in this case, right? So he says, "Oh mischief, thou art swift to enter the thoughts." So maybe I'll just move on because I want to have this completed. Okay, in your opinion, do you believe Romeo made the right decision to buy illegal poison? Okay, so let's go. Hey, look, for the first time, it didn't come with that. Okay, in your opinion, do you believe Romeo made the right decision? So, if I was writing this, I would just say, so do you believe or not? Maybe in this one, because I can switch it up if I want to. And let me go back real quick, because this font changed to 11. And I want it to be 12. Okay. Romeo made the right decision to buy illegal poison on his way to see Juliet in the tomb. Now notice how I turned that question into a statement already. So I can actually take that from Mr. Celadon. Because why can I do that? Because I want to make sure he knows what I'm talking about. So I took that question. Notice, in your opinion, do you believe? I just basically took out, do you? And then I took out this part here. And I just put, Romeo made the right decision. Okay, Romeo made the right decision to buy illegal poison on his way to see Juliet. Now, maybe, let's say I want to go against it, because this, even though it's an essay, it's 4 separate paragraphs, right? They should flow, have a flow to them, but more importantly, I can say that I don't agree with him. So notice how I have tag in this first paragraph, which is tag right here. And then in the second paragraph, I don't have tag again because I've already established it in the first paragraph. Okay. Now, let me go here. Romeo made the right, I'm going to say did not. Romeo did not make the right decision to buy legal poison on his way to see Juliet. Okay, so let's find the quote here. So I'm going to use this quote here. It says, "There is thy gold, worse poison to men's soul. Join more murder in this loathsome world." Maybe I'll take the whole thing. Copy it. Okay. Romeo did not make the right decision to buy it. Okay, so the slash, remember the slashes? Remove that link. Okay, at the end, what is it? Act 5, scene 1 again, and then it's line. What lines? Okay, line 80, 81, 82. Line 80 to 82. Okay, so don't forget, remember, anytime during this, pause, email your teacher, ask them questions, but more importantly, we got to keep on moving. Romeo did not make the right decision to buy legal poison on his way to see Juliet in the tomb. Now, notice how this is not even a real quote. I mean, it is a quote, but I haven't made it proper yet. All right. Whenever I'm cutting and pasting, it changes the font, so I got to keep changing it back to 12 font. A desperate Romeo said. Okay. So Romeo did not make the right decision to buy legal poison. A desperate Romeo said, "There is thy gold, worse poison to men's soul." So he's talking about money, right? Doing murder. Romeo is actually very convincing and logical in this scene. He was able to convince the apothecary to sell him illegal drugs that if sold is punishable by death. All right. So the fact is, Romeo is actually logical, which means that even though he was convinced about dying, he still has enough logic in his mind to convince this drug dealer to sell him drugs or poison that's punishable by death if you sell them. So that even though, so my point is, he isn't as crazy as it might seem, right? If he was crazy, he would just fight and go and maybe try and kill the apothecary because he just, he killed Tybalt earlier. He just go kill the apothecary and like, "I'm going to take your poison." That's why he's so crazy, right? But he doesn't do that, so he still has logic right now. Romeo is actually very convincing and logical in the scene. He was able to convince the apothecary to sell him illegal drugs that if sold, is punishable by death. Okay. So let me go back and remember what the question was, right? Even because I turned it back over there. In your opinion, do you believe Romeo made the right decision? Because of his logic, he did not make the right decision to buy the poison. At this point in the play, he had enough. What is it? Like logic. I don't want to use logic. Let me see. If I say logic here, I can go press right click and then go define logic, and then sometimes give synonyms. argumentation. Maybe we can say argumentation. At this point, he had enough argumentation in his words that he was capable of making better decisions. He was clearly set on killing himself. So no matter what, no one could have stopped his determination at this stage of the play. Okay, so that took a little longer than I wanted to, but you can see there's the quote, explanation of the quote, and then moving to the last one. What should be done to people who purchase and use illegal drugs for recreational or harmful use? Okay, so I'm saying, like Romeo, buying, so I want to make a direction to the literature, right? Like Romeo buying illegal drugs from the apothecary. And then let me do what I said before. Cut this down right here so I can see it. Okay. Like Romeo buying illegal drugs from the apothecary. And then maybe I'll use this. People who purchase illegal. Back to 12. Okay. Like Romeo buying illegal drugs from the apothecary, people who purchase and use illegal drugs for recreational or harmful use should be punished by law. Okay. Now I'm going to address this counter argument real quick. Okay. So addressing counter arguments is a good way to start off with although. Although many people use drugs for helpful reasons, whether it be for pain or whether it be for pain or for other things, so that people use drugs for pain or relaxation purposes. These drugs, when in the wrong hands, become deadly. Okay, although many people use drugs for helpful reasons, whether it be for pain or relaxation purposes, these drugs, when in the wrong hands, become deadly. If people buy drugs that they know can be lethal, they should also expect to suffer the consequences of being caught and punished. Okay. If people buy drugs that they know can be lethal, they should also expect to suffer the consequences of being caught with these drugs. Now let's see if there's anything good I can use here. Let me use this one. Put this in any liquid. I like this quote. The drug that Romeo bought okay, I'll have to check it. I saw the note, but I can't see it right now. Okay, the drug that Romeo bought. Oh, yeah, it's now. If people buy drugs that they know can be lethal, they should also expect a seventh consequence of being caught with these drugs. The drugs that Romeo bought were so lethal that the apothecary stated okay, the drug that Romeo bought was so lethal that the apothecary said, put this in any liquid thing you will, slash, right? Slash again. Back up. Pull it up. Okay, the drug that Romeo bought was so lethal that the apothecary stated, put this in any liquid thing you will and drink it off. And if you had the strength of 20 men, it would dispatch you straight. So basically, it'd kill 20 men essentially. Now that's Act 5, Scene 1, line 70. Okay, let me do it one at a time. Okay, so we got Act 5, Scene 1, lines what? 80, 79, 78, 77. So 77 to 79. Okay. Like Romeo buying illegal drugs from the apothecary. So I'm going to read this again. Remember, I told you, reading your own work over and over again is going to help you to understand the importance of just the thinking process, right? So if I give you this as an example as a teacher, you don't understand all the talking I did to myself, all the rereading I did, all the this and that, and just back and forth, right? So let's see here. The drug that Romeo bought was so lethal that the apothecary stated, put this in any liquid thing you will and drink it off. And if you had the strength of 20 men, it would dispatch you straight. Now I want to remind myself what should be done. So this drug in most eyes, maybe we say there does not seem to be a logical reason why this drug Romeo purchased. There does not seem to be a logical reason why this drug Romeo should even be sold in the first place. In reality, people across the world buy drugs such as, what are some of the most potent drugs out there? Heroin, cocaine. I know is bad, but it's definitely not as like lethal as heroin. I can't really think of. Let me see here. And then this one, if I'm using my computer, I can go in and say, lethal drugs in America. Okay, so look up some quick Tylenol alcohol. This might not be the best one. Cocaine is cough medicine. Heroin. Okay, semi-synthetic opioids. Let's do that one. Digo. I see. I don't even know all these dang names, but I definitely heard of this opioid epidemic, I should say. Um, of epidemics. So obviously, just for the sake of time, I would have to go back and read all that and make sure I know what I'm talking about when I talk about semi-synthetic. But I can go read it real quick. I'm lowercasing it because that was the title in this article, and in real life, it's just another word. Common semi-synthetic opioids include Percocet, Vicodin, Oxycontin. These medications are generally used to treat moderate to severe pain, although some can be prescribed to cough and diarrhea. These drugs are highly addictive and present a high risk of if misuse. Semi-synthetic opioid misuse can cause slowed breathing, which often results in hypoxia, a condition that results when too little oxygen reaches the brain. Hypoxia can induce coma, permanent brain damage, and even death. Opioids are also often combined with other drugs to increase intoxication, including cocaine and alcohol, which significantly raises the risk of fatal overdose. America is currently undergoing an opioid epidemic due to the prevalence and high overdose rate of opioid drugs, making this the final most dangerous category of drug on the countdown. Okay, so if I go back here, there does not seem to be a logical reason why this drug, Romeo Purchase, should even be sold in the first place. In reality, people across the world buy drugs such as heroin and semi-synthetic opioids in order to rid themselves of pain. Heroin. Okay, opioid. This is basically the reason so many people buy these drugs is to. Oh wait, maybe just. So the whole point is they're ridding themselves of pain. The ridding of pain is exactly why Romeo only 1D. Right, that's right. I'm glad this happened because let's just say, you know what? I don't even know how to spell the word ridding, right? You got to rid yourself, right? Ridding. But let's say if I change the word, say forget the word ridding. No, I like ridding. I'll come back to it later. Okay, the ridding of pain is exactly why Romeo bought the poison from the apothecary. Get the first bit. I already said that before. Okay. Just like the people Okay, the ridding of pain is exactly why Roman bought the poison from the apothecary. Okay, my cursor is getting crazy all of a sudden. I'm going to finish my sentence now. Okay, the ridding of pain is exactly why Romeo bought the poison from the apothecary. He could not see himself living his life without the love and companionship of Juliet. he cannot see himself living his life without the love of Juliet. Is why he buys poison. Let's go back to that question again. What should be done to people he's purchased? Okay. So this is why he buys the poison and dies. If people buy drugs, not only will they suffer dearly, but they may also die. Let me just finish this real quick. If people buy drugs, not only will they suffer dearly, suffer physically with addiction and possible jail time, but they may also die. In the end, those who purchase illegal drugs must understand that suffering will be real. All right, so basically I finished this essay. This paragraph became a little bit way longer than I wanted it to. So I'm gonna have to make another video that kind of goes back to this and then simplifies it and gets to the point. But for the sake of today, this is exactly what I'm trying to get to the point at, is that we have this assignment that has 4 questions and then you're answering them. So hopefully this helped everybody. And I would like to stop and say thank you to everyone who is still watching the videos and appreciating the learning that is happening. For today, May 20th, 2020, have a good day. Signing off.